right, so we will go ahead and get started. So hi, my name is Rachel with SweetCarts. I have Sabrina here from SwayzieK, and I thought it would
Hey
be really fun.
guys.
Yeah, I thought it would be so fun to do an interview and do a little bit of a different type of content than we normally do, and let you guys get to see kind of the behind the scenes of who's behind one of these boutiques and get to know her a little bit. So hi, Sabrina. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yay. Hi, everybody. I'm Sabrina Johnson. I am the creator, designer, owner, whatever you want to say for SwayzieK Collections. And I'm just really excited to be here. I can't see y'all, but hey!
So where are you guys actually based out of?
I'm actually in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in Texas, and I work out of my home. All of this behind me, I don't know if you can see this. I'm in my studio right now, so this is where all the magic happens.
Yes. And is it just you, or are you kind of a one-woman shop? Do you sew all the clothes? And yeah.
No, it's just me. I actually, it's been just me this whole time. I don't have anybody that comes in to help do anything. I do everything. The only time I've ever had a team, and I still have them when I'm ready to do it again, is I have a production team, a manufacturer in Dallas. So they are local. So I actually drive to the facility and I check on the job and I check on the patterns and their sample pieces and everything that they do for me. And I chose to do local so that I could have that access versus doing overseas where I can't necessarily fly over there to check on stuff. That's kind of hard. And being a mom of 3, I can't really leave the family and go do that. So I do it here locally. I've done one production run, and I did it last spring. It was my Sea Dreams collection, which was just a little mermaid tunic set. And it's the only one I've done as far as production goes. That was a large mass. And it's the only one that I've done so far. I'd like to do it again. Honestly, life happens, and being a mom of 3 happens, and it just kind of slows things down. So I just continue to do things here in the studio by myself and making little pieces and doing small releases. So.
Yeah, no, I love your stuff so much. I feel like I can look at it and see that it is really different than some of the stuff that's out there. But how would you describe it? So, what if someone goes and thinks like if they think of SwayzieK, what should they think of? Like, do you get like modern classics type of thing, or what are you going for?
Well, so when I got started in this, Swayze is my only daughter, and she is my youngest of 3, and she's our last. So with all of those factors coming into play with her, I spent 3 years, or I guess a total of 5 or 6 years dealing with boy stuff, between my 2 boys. And she came along. She was a surprise, but she came along, and I was obsessed from the beginning, obsessed with girl stuff, because now I could walk into a store and I had a larger selection to choose from. And I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. Oh my gosh, bows and glitter shoes. And I mean, just crazy tutus. I was obsessed. And so the first boutique that I was ever introduced to through a friend, through Facebook, I wasn't into boutique stuff because I had boys and I didn't even know that stuff existed. I thought boutiques were like you walk into a shop, a brick and mortar store, and you buy an expensive outfit. I mean, that's pretty much my knowledge on it. I didn't know that there were boutiques that were carting boutiques, like you them online, really a store to walk into. And so this world that I was introduced to became it consumed me. And so I was just in awe of all of this stuff. And the very first boutique that I was introduced to was Sassy Chic Boutique, which is, she does a lot of the florals. Jessica, she does a lot of the florals and the vintage and stuff like that. And every week I had to have a new dress, every single week. And it got a little obsessive, and my husband was a little worried about me. So I had to bring it down a notch because it got crazy. And my daughter at the time she wasn't even 1. She was maybe 8 months old, I think, at that time. And almost the So it was in that moment that I decided I needed to figure something out to be able to support this obsession that I have, but it not to cost me a lot of money. So that's how SwayzieK collection started, was just me teaching myself how to sew. And I started pulling inspiration from things that I had seen, like Sassy Chic. I loved her fabrics. I loved the florals. I loved the flare of the dresses, how girly they were. And I just started kind of making my own stuff. I just started putting things together and just kind of playing with it. And my first couple of pieces are laughable, very, very much so. I kept them because you have to keep stuff like that. But I was so proud of myself because it took I say this, it took me 2 to 3 weeks just to figure out how to thread my serger, which is the 4-thread machine that gives your, oh my God. I mean, I sat in front of that machine reading the manual over and over before I even used it because I had no idea what I was doing. I just went to a sewing store and got machines and came home and figured it out. And it was just, and we're talking from that point forward. I spent 8 or 9 months staying up until 2 a.m. every single night, 3 a.m. every single night, having to get up to school, teaching myself how to sew because I could only do it in the evening time because I'm a mom during the day. And so you can't do stuff like that really during the day when you got kids at home. So it was nighttime was my thing. And I did that for about 9 months, really just diving in. I didn't take a class and I just taught myself. And I'm not perfect by any means, but I did learn a lot and I was confident. I became confident in what I was doing and I had no intention of turning it into a business. It was so that I can make dresses for her to wear. And that was it. And I had a few girlfriends of mine through Facebook. I had not at this point met them in person yet. We've now met in person, but a few of them had seen some things that I had done, but just by me taking pictures of Swayze and them and posting them like, hey, look at this new dress or whatever. Right. And they offered to let me make them something for free. And I sent it to them and I told them, I was like, I want the harsh criticism because you buy boutique stuff, you know what quality is. And I want you to tell me what you think about all of this. And to step out, take this huge leap of faith and brand it and try to do something with it. And that was 2 years ago this month is when I launched my first release.
Oh, well, I love that story so much. And I think everyone, if they are listening to this interview, can probably relate to maybe going a little bit overboard on the buying boutique clothing. I think we've all kind of been there with the husbands getting mad at us and yeah.
Oh, to this day still. I mean, listen, just because I make clothes doesn't mean that I don't buy them. I still have an issue. I have a problem. I think we all do to some point. But it's just, it's just it becomes a love of clothes. It becomes a love of design. It becomes a respect for other designers that I have, that I love their stuff so much that I could probably make something similar if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I want to buy their stuff. And so I continue to do my own thing and I continue to as well. And I love it. I just love it.
Oh, well, I mean, what are your other favorite brands other than your own? Like which other brands out there do you really love and follow?
Well, my number one small shop, and she's a phenomenal designer. She is an amazing person. I can't wait to meet her in person, but we have created an amazing friendship. She's actually my mentor. I look to her because she's been doing it longer than I have. It's Amy McMullen with Amy Lou Clothing. Okay. And she retro, fresh, funky type style. And from her, I drew inspiration on some of my pieces that I do that I now label as SK Black, which is initial for SwayzieK Black. It's my black line. So it's kind of funky and fresh. And I try to keep it, playful, everyday type wear. But she has that same type of vibe. And I really respect it. I love it. I love it.
I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. Well, I was just going to ask, what do you think it is about, dressing up little girls that does, make us all so crazy and want to buy all this stuff? Why do you think it's so cool? I mean, they look cute, but, it's more than that, right?
Yeah, it is. It is more than that. I mean, you always hear the slogan, it's more than clothes and whatever. And I have to bring myself back a little bit because life isn't just about dressing to look through my phone. And I'm sure any mom of a girl. I mean, we take pictures of our boys too, but our girls, they consume our photo album in our phone because I have pictures of her all the time. I don't know. I really don't know what it is. I think if we wanted to get all emotional about it, for me, you know, I have an amazing relationship with my mom, and she's my best friend. And I feel like having this connection with Swayze because she's a girl, because I look at her and I want to raise her up to be an amazing woman, to be respected and respectful, and to be strong. Like I look at her and I'm just obsessed with her, and I'm obsessed with her being a girl, and I want to celebrate that. And I want to celebrate that through everything that has to do with being a girl, like stuff, Prince, whatever she wants to do, you know, and I don't know. And maybe it's a part of me. Like I had an obsession with my own clothes until I had her. And now my obsession has turned to her wardrobe, which I'm sure everybody has this same experience, is probably valued much higher than my own now. But I don't know. It's just kind of, I think it's maybe just a female bond type connection thing. And the fact that she's me, and I look at her and I'm like, she's so me. Like she does so many things. It's just like me, you know? Yeah. And I love that. And I celebrate that with her.
I do agree. I think it's something special between a mother and daughter that you just can't replace or have that relationship, you know, with anybody else. And it kind of fits right into that. Yeah. I think you put it into much better words than I could have, but I definitely think you're kind of, definitely. We're getting closer to having that answer of like, what is it that makes us so crazy?
Yeah, so. It is.
So you did kind of touch on this a little bit, but yeah, you mentioned, you know, you named the clothing brand after your daughter, and she is your little girl. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, how do you think that she inspires your clothing? Like, you know? Well,
you know, Swayze, she is her own personality, and I don't fight it. She is mature and smart for her age, and she communicates like a first grader. I mean, she is beyond her years, and she's very opinionated. So when it comes to fashion, when it comes to being inspired by her, I pretty much try to keep up with her. You know, day in and day out, I learn what type of mood she's in, either whether it's a season or it's just that day. She went through a period of time where she refused to wear a dress. And this was during the time that I was heavy in my production, doing these things. And she's my only model. I mean, everything that I make, every sample piece that I do, it's her size. And so because I need her to put it on so I can see how it fits, and we have to take pictures and all this stuff. And she refused. I mean, she fought me on it. And it was just kind of like, I do, like, you can't do this. You're my model. You have to be able to do this for me. And now she's in a season that she's obsessed with dresses. Like she can't get every day she wants to wear a dress, and she can't wear dresses to school. They have to wear a uniform, where she goes to preschool at. And so she comes home and she takes her clothes off and she wants to put a dress on. And when she's home with me on, her off days, she wants to wear a dress, and I don't fight it. She's very playful. She likes soft cotton, flowy, twirly things. And so if I can keep up with what she likes and just watching her grow. And I have friends that have girls too that are about the same age. So I just kind of pull from that and just see what are girls their age into, what's a girl into, period. I think every girl likes to dress up every once in a while. Even your older girls, you know, that are in grade school, you know, every once in a while they like to put a dress on, even if it's just for, you know, Sunday church or whatnot. But I try to look at her and say she's an everyday toddler like everybody else. She's not any different than a 3-year-old little girl or a 3-year-old little boy. She gets into everything. She is messy. I have to take in consideration that what she has on for the day, I don't know, may get markers on it. She may spill chocolate on it. I don't know. So there's just no telling. So I just try to keep in mind that if I'm going to make something and it's going to be an everyday wear, it needs to be able to wash good. It needs to be able to withhold what a toddler is going to put it through, and still come out, you know, out of the wash machine looking pretty decent, you know. Right. So yeah.
So definitely having a daughter, has a huge role in the clothing that you're making. I can definitely see that.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know you touched a lot about, you know, your family and having three 3 kids. I mean, what do you do to balance it all? You kind of mentioned you do sort of separate it and work at night on, making the clothes and designing the clothes, but I mean, it's a lot. Running a
Yes.
business is a lot no matter what it is. And being a mom of 3 kids is a lot. So
Yes.
how do you do it?
Yes.
I don't think I have one daughter and I don't think I could do it. So
it is difficult. I won't lie. It's not easy. Every day is different. My kids are in 3 different stages of life right now. And just being mom to that, just being able to cater to whatever it is that they're going through, whether it be with school, sports, friends, it's hard. I mean, it's so hard. It's so hard. And I never put on a front that I got this. Mom life is so easy. My life is so great and everything. I mean, because in reality, if we strip it down, it's just really hard being a mom in this day and age. I mean, it's really hard being a wife. It's really hard being a friend. I mean, in the sense that you're being pulled in every different direction. There's different elements just in life alone, social media, trying to keep up with certain things or whatever it may be that may hinder that or may, kind of take up some time that should be spent elsewhere. And so for me, running a business, social media, because I don't have a storefront, social media is obviously, my marketing tool. And I spend a lot of time on it and it makes me feel bad. Like I feel like, my kids now, or my 8-year-old, he's like, Mom, you put your device down, you're not paying attention to us. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right. I'm so, and I have to, but I will say that this past summer, after I did my production run, the kids are home for summer and I don't even send Swayze to preschool. I actually keep her home with me all summer long so that all of us have the entire summer together to do whatever it is that we do, go to the zoo, go to the splash pad, whatever it is. So I took the whole summer off from SwayzieK. I think I might have done 1 or 2 things, small, simple, nothing big. Took the whole summer off because I wanted to give that to my kids. They needed me. They needed my attention day in and day out. And I will tell you that as a business owner, as a mom, it was this huge burden that was lifted that I felt like, oh man, I can breathe for a minute because I'm not trying to do 100 different things at one time. Like I can just focus on them. It's good. But the balance though, finding the balance, it's tough. It really is. It is a mental, it's a mental effort every day. It's a physical effort every day. I kiss my kids in the morning. I send them off to school. I'm like, bye guys, love you. Have a great day. And then they get back in the car at 3:00 in the afternoon and they're fighting. And I'm just like, what? I haven't seen you guys in like 6 hours. Why are we fighting? You've been in the car for 5 minutes, And so it's all day long. Yeah. This is what it is. Of them that they're all different and they have different personalities. And, but I will say that the one thing that helps for me is that, I recognize where I lack in being a mom and being a wife. And when I acknowledge that and I speak it, then I know that I can do certain things to fix it. For me personally, if I work out in the morning, if I get a good workout in, whether it's 30 or 45 minutes or whatever, it actually helps me to be more productive throughout the day. If I cook dinner at night instead of grabbing drive-through, because we do that, I'm not lying, maybe 4 to 5 nights a week because my kids are in sports and there's no time for. Yeah. Okay. And I can't afford. So, we are, let's grab and go. But if I can cook dinner and we can sit down as a family, even if it's just chit chat for, 20 minutes, it brings things in for that period of time. I will touch on this real quick. My husband owns his own business and he, runs his business out of the house as well. He owns a flooring company, so he's in construction and he is so busy. I mean, I couldn't tell you. I feel sorry for it. I wish there was more that I could do for him. So I actually work for him, doing So I try to help with that. So SwayzieK is there, and it's my passion, but it's something that right now in this season has to kind of take a seat at the back burner and just kind of be something that I do in the evening time, creating, designing, whatever it may be, because he needs me, my kids need me, and I need to have some time for myself too. And the balance is really hard. And I think that there's a lot of moms out there, whether or not you own your own business, just can relate to supporting a husband, being a mom for yourself, because we have to be able to rejuvenate. We have to be able to have that time to pull it together. I mean, I jokingly say, oh, girl, I need a drink tonight. I don't drink every night. I mean, I have maybe one cocktail on the weekend if we're out to dinner or something. But I mean, there's just times that I feel like I just need to gather myself and pull it in. So, but we survive, we make it happen. So that's what moms do.
I think that you just kind of said, like, the definition of being a mom is needing a drink every night, but not being able to actually have a drink every night.
Exactly. The feeling like you need one, but you really don't do it because you're like, I'm a mom.
That's kind of where SwayzieK is now. Yeah, I know you said you kind of want to take a little bit of a step back and you just took some time off, but I mean, right. Where do you see it going in the next year? What do you have in the pipeline for 2018?
Well, it's really, so this is the difficult part about taking some time off. I wouldn't say off, but just like slowing it down a little bit in the sense that I'm not in my studio every single night for hours, but my brain doesn't stop working. I have ideas nonstop. And so I have to come up here. I have to jot them down. I have to draw them out. I don't know if you can see, I have right here is a ton of fabric.
Yeah.
On this one in the corner over here, there's a ton of fabric on that one. You can't see it because it's down. I have all the shelving down below that's full of fabric. My closet in my studio is full of fabric. So I have all of the tools that I need to do what I need to do, but it's finding the time to do that. So this next year in 2018, my goal is to I have personal goals and I have business goals. So business goal wise, I don't think that it's going to grow much more than where I'm at now. I feel like I'm kind of in a stagnant season, which I'm okay with. I'm totally fine with that. I think that I had to accept that. I had to accept that because I couldn't give it my 100%. I couldn't do it a 9-to-5 job with it. That, when you don't stay on top of it, not that you fall to the wayside and that people forget about you, but you're not in their face all the time. And I'm fine. I'm so fine with that. I have a passion for it. So when I do something, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be small. It's going to be something that, not that I can just crank out quick, like I'm just trying to do quick little things, but I'm going to have time to spend with it. Because when I was doing one load after another, I felt the pressure of trying to get it done and get it out. I'm not going to knock any other small shop, but me personally, I can't stand doing a pre-order and it taking more than 4 weeks to get it out or 6 weeks to get it out. Just because seasons change so quickly, depending on what area live in, that by the time they get the item, they may not even really be able to use it. And then their daughter's going to outgrow it. So my plan is that when I do things this year, whatever creative idea I come up with, it's going to be something that's great, but it's going to be something that I can turn around quickly. And when I say that, that means it's a small load because again, if I'm doing a dress and I decide to release a dress or a skirt set or some Leos or whatever it is, I'm not going to sell 25 of them and it take me, 10 weeks because I'm the only person that's doing it. And when I'm making my item, I hand check every single piece before I ever send it out. Every single stitch is in proper place. No folded fabric that accidentally got caught up underneath the foot on the presser on the machine and got an extra stitch in it. I will pull it out and undo it and redo it again. If I mess up a complete order, I will scrap the fabric and I will start all over. And that's just how I do it. But I take pride in what I do, and I want someone to get it in the mail and love it. And, because those are the people that are going to come back. Those are the ones that are going to say, she doesn't do a lot, but when she does, I want what she has. And so, I just want to keep it that way for this year. And I think that as Swayze gets older, and she is more self-sufficient and she's going off to elementary school, and then I've got the house to myself every single day for at least 6 hours, then I may kick it into high gear. But I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop doing what I do, even if it's just as a hobby on the side for now, because I want to stay on top of the it's like, you don't ever want to quit. It's kind of like, it's just a passion. It's something that I want to keep doing. So I'll keep it on the side for sure.
Right. I mean, is that what you think is kind of one of the biggest challenges? Yeah, I guess it's scaling up production. Yeah, when you are aiming for such high quality in all of your stuff, it's hard to scale that.
Yeah, it is. And I am very aware of other small shop designers. Oh goodness, hang on just a second. My apologies.
We had to have at least one interruption.
I'm sorry, do what?
I said that we had to have at least
one. It's life. It's what happens. Yeah. No, I am aware of what other designers are doing, and I keep up with what's going on, what the trend is, what's everybody into, and I respect it. Like I do buy from other small shops. I do support that. I buy from bigger shops as well. Everybody knows Well Dressed Wolf. Everybody knows Omi Joe, and I'm obsessed with them. So, I buy. But I'll say that it just I don't know. It's difficult. It's a hard season right now for this business. I think for me, there was a lot of, and I'm just going to be real since we're here. I've had a lot of doubts. And not doubting my talent, but doubting, my audience, in the sense that who have I captured? How do I stay in front of them? And, when you've got Facebook and Instagram changing their algorithms, it's almost impossible to, market on social media now. And, just is really hard. And I don't compare myself to other designers in the sense that I don't think, I'm not good enough and they're so much better than me. But I don't think, I'm the best and they don't know what they're doing. I don't think that either. I just think we're in this together, and I look at what are they doing differently? How are they marketing? What are some things that they're doing to help stay relevant? And just that right there, just kind of, it started to consume me. It started to, you start having doubts about yourself and thinking, I'm not doing something right. And so, it came to there. We're in a season right now. SwayzieK is in a season right now where kind of pulling back. Just kind of reevaluating what it is that I really want to accomplish over the next year, over the next 2 years. In my mind, I had this 5-year plan, but this 5-year plan isn't going the way that I had thought it would go. And that's okay. I've accepted that. That's something that I've had to work on the past several months, is accepting that and being fine with that. Because you would have asked me a few months ago, girl, I would have been in tears. I'd been crying, and it would have been, I was a hot mess. And you can ask my mentor, Amy, because we've got lots of private messages back and forth of encouragement and but you just have to, I think, as any entrepreneur type spirit, you just have to accept that sometimes it's not your season. It's not your season. And I'm a firm believer of that. I'm a firm believer that God allows things to happen for a reason. I'm a firm believer that he puts you in a certain place for a certain time for a purpose. And I just feel like, when I was able to sit back and say, I was making this happen, I was forcing this, I was trying to be the one to be super successful and be this small shop that everybody was talking about. And it wasn't happening. And I had to step back and go, okay, I was making something happen that he wasn't ready for it to happen. And so now I've got to be like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm just going to chill and I'm going to do this whenever the time is right. And so right now I said I stopped doing. I had plans of doing a second production run in August, and I didn't do it. And it was because I realized that it just wasn't my time. And when it is my time, it'll be great. And I still keep in contact with, my people, my business page. I make posts every now and then. But at the same time, I just don't want to be consumed by it right now. I think I need to put my focus elsewhere. And so in the meantime, I'm just kind of, I'm still here and I still do little things every once in a while, but I just kind of needed to get my priorities straight is what I needed to do.
Yeah, me and my husband, it's not our first business that we've started, and we always talk about this concept of like 3 feet from gold.
Right.
It's a book that's out there, and like this guy, dug and dug and dug for gold for years, and then literally like 2 months, it's a real story, by the way, and like literally he sold his gold mine. And then like 1 month later, someone bought it and kept digging and digging right where he was, and they struck gold and made like millions and millions of dollars. And it's literally like, that's what we say is like, it just takes 10 times longer and it's 10 times more expensive to build a brand than anyone ever understands who's never tried to build a business. It's just patience is a virtue.
It really is. It really is. And I think that if you're able to have an understanding also that it's a risk. I mean, it's a huge risk. My husband, thank God for him, is because he saw this talent that I had, that I didn't know I had. I mean, like I said, I didn't grow up. When I took home ec in high school, I didn't sew. I mean, I think I made like a beanbag. I don't know. And so I didn't know that this was something that I was capable of doing or learning. And he saw it, and he became my investor. I mean, he said, I'm going to invest in SwayzieK, and I will get you started, whatever it is that you need to get production, to order, the hundreds of yards of fabric that I had to order, everything, all the costs, my not pattern maker, what are they called? The marker and the grader, which they're the ones that create the blueprints for your pattern. So I created a pattern, took it to them. They created a blueprint of this, and they were able to scale it from however many sizes I needed. I gave them a 2T, and they could scale up and down. And so, that takes money, I mean, everything. And so he invested in that, and the investment didn't come back. It was a loss. And that's okay. It's okay, and the fact that he knew that I was trying, because he can't say that I haven't been trying. I mean, he knows the hours that I put in. He knows, what it takes. He sees every piece that I make. I run downstairs and I'm like, look what I just did, and he's like, wow, babe, that's really cool. And, so he's been there for me and in it. And sense that he sees what I've been going through, emotionally, physically. I mean, it took a toll on my body also. And that was another reason why I had to slow down, was my health. Nothing scary, just, I'm not eating right, drinking way too much coffee just so I could stay up late. And, it's not good. It's just not good. And so I think that as any human or any business owner or anybody that's trying to start something, you can push yourself and push yourself and push yourself, but you have to at some point realize, is it worth it? Is this worth my not getting sleep? Is this worth my losing the 10 pounds that I didn't need to lose? Because I now look concerned about me because they think that I'm ill. And it's, so I had to bring it back in. And but I will say though that I applaud all of the small shop owners out there. I'm in it. I know I feel it. I know exactly what it's like to be in that position. There's a high respect for those people, no matter what they're making, whether it's, socks, hair bows, complete outfits, couture dresses. I mean, it is a hard job. And I think the hardest part is making sure that your customer is completely satisfied, because you look at something and you think to yourself, this is amazing. This is wait to send this off. And then your customer gets it and they're not happy. And that right there is, that it kind of puts a dart in your heart. And but at the same time, you have to suck it back and you have to say, okay, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make you happy. And but running a business, period, it's difficult. It really is. And I know you get it.
Yeah, I do. More than you'll ever know. Yeah. It's tough. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah, and it's really tough with customers because people who aren't in that situation, don't understand how painful it is to hear criticism sometimes when people just say the meanest things and like it
Yeah.
hurts, like it hits you in the heart. Like, or if they criticize your designs or whatever, like
Yeah,
you just want it to be successful and want them to love it, and it hurts, and you
it
have to
does.
develop that thick skin too. So yeah,
It does.
I
Yes.
get
And
it.
you do have to have thick, and you have to, everybody's expectations are different. And, I'll say that, I pay a price tag for certain items as well. And when I get it, and also I have to, because I am a seamstress, because I know good quality clothing when I see it. It's when I get something that I feel like is not good quality, I don't contact the shop and let them know about it. I don't. That's if I was a regular customer, I probably might say something nicely, graciously. I'm not happy with the item, whatever it is. I do what I do. I fix it myself. If there's something that comes in and I get it and I see something that's flawed in the stitching or whatever, I make no big deal about it. I just fix it myself and I move on. It's not a big deal because I make mistakes too. But I think that coming from a customer standpoint, I think that there is a way to contact those small shops and still be able to say, hey, I have an issue with this item, but do it in a gracious manner, and just understand that person probably worked really hard, just not making your dress, but creating it and designing it and making sure that it fit, because they're not just making that one size. They have to make all the sizes. And that's really hard to understand how to grade in size, because little bodies change as they get older. They start losing that baby belly, and so it needs to taper in a little bit on whatever item it is. And so it's really hard to make an outfit that's going to fit a large range in size. And so I would just encourage customers, when you please continue to support those small shops, because this is their bread and butter. This is something that they do. They may have other jobs during the day and they do this at night, but I promise you, they're staying up extremely late at night to do this, because once you sit at a machine and you start going, there's no stopping. You have to continue to go. You can't just really cut it off. But I encourage you that, if you're shopping small and you are supporting those women out there, or even men that are making jewelry and hair bows and accessories and outfits and whatnot, that if there is an issue that you have, um, contact them, and don't throw them under the bus on social media. Don't trash their name, because it hurts. And me as a consumer, not just in clothing, but in fast food restaurants around here, or in the new restaurant that opened up down the street, if we have bad service, we're not going to go on our local town social media page and trash that restaurant. I mean, you just don't do that. And it's something that kind of upsets me now that I'm a shop owner, to see that people think that it's okay to do that. And it's just not. I just don't think that it speaks as good character for the people that do that. I think that it could be settled behind the scene, not on social media. And I guarantee you, any shop owner out there that gets a complaint, I promise you, if they have a great heart, most of them that fix it. They're going to do whatever they can do, because they want to make you happy. They take pride in what they do, and they want to make sure that customer is completely satisfied with whatever it is that they sent out to them.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, no, I mean, all I can do is just agree with everything that you just said, because you hit the nail on the head, so hard. Yeah, I do. And, I think the thing about supporting these shops, like, I literally think that this world of boutiques and stuff is the future of fashion. I think that people are eventually going to start shopping that way for
Yep.
themselves and for their husbands and families. Like, as you see retail stores
Exactly.
becoming sort of less and less
Exactly.
relevant. And this is like, your people are able to make such styles that you don't find in these retail stores or from the big retailers.
Exactly.
And I mean, that's what we want to do with SweetCarts, is turn it into just sort of like a media company for these
Yep.
boutiques. And there's nothing like that out there, because we think that it is the future, and you're
Yeah.
part of it. So don't give up. I know that, I totally think people need breaks sometimes and everything,
Yeah.
but don't give up, because like,
Oh
you're
yeah, no.
in the beginning of something that is going to be huge. I
Yeah.
think now, like, some of these groups have like 30,000 people. I think that in the next couple of years, it's going to grow to like 100,000.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's I
Really
agree with you. I totally agree with you on that. The greatest thing about boutique shopping and small shopping and whatever it is that it is different. Is that there's only a certain number of items made, and usually they're not repeated. And so that means that if you are able to score something like that, you're one of the few that has it. And I know that, speaking for myself and a lot of moms out there, most of that stuff that we buy is for our children. And I'm telling you what, though, as soon as I find a boutique that's doing women's stuff, I'm going to be hitting that, because if you were to look at my closet, I do not have a genre of clothing. Like, I mix it up. I can be, funky, fresh, playful one day, and then the next day I'm leather. I'm decked out in leather, or whatever it is. So I like to mix it up a lot. So when I see something that's cool and it's different or whatever, I want to get it. I want it for myself, and I'll rock it. I don't care if nobody else is wearing it. That's just what I do. And so yeah, I think that you're right on that. This boutique shopping is gonna take. It started a long time ago, like I said, with the brick and the mortar shops, and you'd walk in and you'd get a Giggle Moon outfit for your little girl, or, something by, Paris Hilton or whatever for the women, or whatever it is. They weren't selling in Nordstrom's. They weren't selling, at Neiman's or Dillard's or wherever. But now you've got so many different shops out there for all ages, for both men and women, boy and girl, that I think that that's what's going to happen, is that you'll be seeing walking around wearing things that it's not a label. It's not something that's a polo or whatever it is. It's just, you're like, where did you get that shirt? That's the coolest thing I've ever seen, And so, I like that. I love that. I would love to start making women's clothes. I think the first thing that I did for, us moms is I made those infinity scarves, a few weeks ago, and I was pumped over those. I was like, finally. I mean, it's simple. It's just a scarf. It's not anything big, but finally we have something, and that was exciting. Now I'm thinking I probably need if I make like a woman skirt or something, or a little dress or something for summer, I'm all over it. I'm all over it. So, but yeah.
I think boys too. I mean, I can't wait to see, what boutique is going to come out and be like the boutique for little boys' clothes, because it's here and there, like Well Dressed Wolf, they do the shirts, and other clothes, they do shirts mostly, but I can't wait to see who, maybe you have two little boys or someone to like really I think the market is wide open for someone to come in and dominate the little boys' clothing niche.
Yes, it's so funny that you said that. I'm not going to sit here and, don't mark my word on this. I'm not going to be. I don't know if I would become a dominator of boys' clothing, but I will say this though: my boys beg me all the time to make them something, and I have stuff. Most of the fabrics that I buy are for girls, but I do have something I've picked up. And it's just simple things, nothing to get too excited about. But I thought to myself, and I planned on doing this past summer when I was taking time off from selling it, from being the business. And I thought, what, if I just do it as a hobby, I'm going to make them some things. But I found I got this cute idea, because I found this cute pattern for these like these Harlem pants for boys that you can actually turn them into shorts or something, like something kind of funky and fresh. And I showed my boys, and they were like, yeah, because they like to play outside, and they don't like tight fitting clothing at all. They're all about sports and stuff. And so I never did them. I never got to it. And I thought, what, I need to do something for them. I need to set the girl stuff aside for a minute and focus on some boy stuff for them, for my boys, because they're begging me all the time. And so who knows, I may get into it and just, it may be an all-stop shop, SwayzieK, and I may have to come up with a whole nother label for the boy side. So, it needs some love. The boys need some love. They're not getting any love. So if there's another shop out there that's doing boy stuff, I need to know about it. So
I can't wait to see. Maybe we'll see that from you in 2019.
I know. Who knows? Maybe. Yeah, I know. Maybe coming up this summer, we'll try some new things. It'll be fun.
I know it. Well, all right. I know that's been so interesting. I know time is running out a little bit. I'm so happy. I had such a good time listening to you.
Thanks, Rachel. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, you loving it. I'm loving what you guys are doing. Everything's running smoothly on your end. So we are loving it. So thank you.
And so
Yeah.
tell people, like, so if they want to stay in touch with you and find out what you're producing and
Yeah.
stuff, where should they go and follow you? How can they find out what's
Well,
coming from you?
we're on Instagram, and it's our handle is at SwayzieK Collections, all run together. Swayzie, the letter K Collections. I listen. I'm not a huge. I still don't understand really how Instagram works. I mean, I make my posts and everything. So, but go there because I will post there first, and then it shares it to my Facebook business page, which is also SwayzieK Collections. And then I also have a buy sell trade page, which I post things there too, and it's SwayzieK BST. You have to request to join that group. And sorry, guys, I don't allow men in that group. So if any of the dads out there are watching and they want to shop for their daughter too, which God bless you, that's awesome. You can follow me on Instagram and you can check out the business page. But the buy sell trade page, that's for us moms only. So.
Awesome. Well, I hope that everyone checks you out. I think you have an
Yes.
amazing story and some amazing clothes. So
Thank
definitely check
you.
out Sabrina and her line.
Thank you.
And yeah, if you have any questions, you can always let us know. We'll definitely pass it on. And I hope everyone has an amazing day. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.